You catch your reflection in the mirror, brush in hand, just like you've done for decades. But lately, something feels off. The style that always worked now looks a little flat, a little harsh. And it's not about age. It's about small choices that quietly change how we're seen. Welcome back to Elder Insights, a space where we trade confusion for clarity and celebrate smarter choices, not harder routines. Today, we're exploring 5 hairstyle mistakes that can unintentionally make women over 60 look older. And more importantly, what to do instead. These aren't about chasing trends or reinventing yourself overnight. They're simple shifts, backed by expert insight, that can soften your features, work with your natural texture, and make your everyday look feel more like you again. Because the truth is, you don't need more effort, you just need the right approach. We'll cover the most common mistakes, like outdated cuts, overusing certain tools, and clinging to habits that don't serve you anymore. And at the end, we'll talk about the most overlooked fix that many women never hear about. If this sounds useful, go ahead and like this video, share it with someone who might appreciate it, and subscribe to Elder Insights. And tell us in the comments, 1 if you've done any of these, or 0 if you found your own method. Your voice helps shape what we share next. Let's start with the one that often feels stylish, but actually works against you. Mistake number 1, keeping hair too long without layers. You might think, long hair has always suited me. Why change now? And you're right, there's nothing wrong with loving length. But as we age, our hair's texture, density, and growth patterns begin to shift. That same sleek style from your 40s may now fall flat, drag your face downward, or even emphasize features you'd rather soften. Here's the problem. Keeping hair long without any layering can make your face appear longer, your jawline less defined, and your hair more lifeless. The weight of unlayered hair tends to pull everything down, and when volume starts thinning at the crown, which it often does post-60, it can leave you with a heavy, outdated silhouette. Dermatologists and stylists alike note that collagen loss, slower hair growth, and increased dryness after menopause make long, straight styles harder to maintain and less flattering overall. So what happens if you don't adjust? You may find yourself using more products, spending more time styling, and still ending up with a look that feels a bit off. Worse, you might start feeling like you have to hide your hair, tying it up constantly, or keeping it tucked behind your shoulders. What to do instead? You don't have to chop it all off. Simply adding soft face-framing layers can lift your look instantly. Layers restore movement, bring back shape, and gently highlight the eyes and cheekbones. If you prefer shoulder length or longer, ask your stylist for subtle layering around the crown and some tapering toward the ends. These small changes can give your hair bounce and your face a natural frame without sacrificing the length you love. And if your hair is thinning, layers help by creating the illusion of fullness, especially around the top and sides. Try this. Next time you're at the mirror, lift the hair near your temples and imagine a few light layers falling softly beside your face. That's not drastic, it's intentional. Next up, let's talk about a styling habit that many of us picked up years ago and never thought to question. Mistake number 2, using too much hairspray or heavy styling products. We all remember the days when a good hairstyle meant holding it perfectly in place, from morning coffee to late night dinner. A few spritzes of strong hold hairspray, a touch of mousse, maybe a dollop of gel, and we were set. But here's the truth. What worked in 1985 may not be doing us any favors now. As we get older, our hair becomes finer, drier, and more porous. That means it absorbs more of what we put on it and shows every ounce of product more visibly. What used to create volume can now cause stiffness. What once gave structure now makes hair look helmet-like or even thinner than it actually is. Here's why it matters. Heavy sprays and sticky textures can weigh hair down at the root, making it look flat instead of full. They also tend to clump fine strands together, exposing more of the scalp and exaggerating hair loss. Plus, these products often create a shiny, unnatural finish that can reflect light unevenly and draw attention to creases or texture on the face. And let's be honest, once a stiff style is set in place, it doesn't move. And movement is youth. Hair that moves naturally softens the whole face and adds life to your look. What happens if we keep using these products the same way? You might start to notice a sticky residue near your scalp, a dullness in color, or that you're shampooing more often, just to remove buildup. Worse, too much product can make you feel stuck in a style that no longer reflects who you are today. What to do instead? Swap out those old cans and tubs for lightweight, flexible hold products. Look for words like touchable, volumizing, or brushable hold. A gentle root-lifting spray or a dry texture mist can give you volume without crunch. And if you're using hairspray, try misting it onto your hand and gently pressing it where needed, instead of spraying directly on your hair. Better yet, embrace movement. Let your hair breathe. Give it room to sway and settle naturally. You might be surprised how youthful and freeing it feels. Now, let's move on to a cut-related mistake that many women don't even realize they're making, especially if they've worn the same one for years. Mistake number 3, sticking with the same cut for decades. You sit in the stylist's chair and say, just the usual. And why not? It's familiar. It's easy. It's what you've always done. But here's the thing. You're not the same person you were when you first got that cut. Our face shape shifts subtly over time. Skin softens, jawlines change, and the haircut that framed your features beautifully in your 40s may now be highlighting the wrong things in your 60s. Here's the issue. Haircuts, like clothing, are meant to fit. And as our features evolve, so should the shape around them. A long fringe that once emphasized your eyes might now obscure them. A blunt bob that once felt chic may now feel too harsh, dragging the face down instead of lifting it up. Stylists often say the most common mistake they see in older clients is simply staying loyal to a cut that no longer serves them. And it's not vanity, it's biology. Hair texture changes with age, often becoming coarser, thinner, or more brittle. That means what once worked might not be working now. If left unchanged, the result can feel oddly disconnected, like your hair belongs to a younger version of you. It can make the rest of your look feel dated, even if you're stylish in every other way. So what to do instead? You don't need a dramatic makeover. Start with a small shift in shape. Try adjusting the length slightly, maybe from jawline to cheekbone. Or add a soft side-swept bang to open up your eyes. You can even explore asymmetry, a subtle angle or taper that brings lift and movement. If you've had the same haircut for 10+ years, this doesn't mean you've made a mistake. It means you've got a chance to see what else is possible. Here's a tip. The next time you go in for a trim, ask your stylist, if I wanted to update this just a little, where would you start? Let them guide you. Even a few thoughtful tweaks can take years off your appearance and give you a renewed sense of self. Up next, let's talk about color. Specifically, a mistake many women don't even realize they're making until their glow starts to fade. Mistake number 4, choosing the wrong hair color tone. You glance at the color swatches at the salon: golden blonde, rich brown, auburn, jet black. Maybe you point to the one you've always chosen and say, "Let's stick with this." But here's something most women don't hear often enough. As your skin tone shifts with age, your ideal hair color does too. Here's what's happening. Over time, your skin loses some of its natural pigment and warmth. That means bold or overly dark shades, like inky black or deep red, can start to look harsh. Instead of brightening your face, they may create shadows, emphasize fine lines, and draw attention away from your features. And while lighter tones can be softening, going too light, especially with ashy or cool blondes, can wash you out completely, especially if your undertones lean warm. Why it matters: color is all about harmony with your complexion. Get it right, and it brings light to your eyes, softness to your jawline, and a healthy glow to your skin. Get it wrong, and even the most flattering haircut can fall flat. Studies in color theory and aging show that slightly warmer, mid-tone hues tend to be more flattering on mature skin. Think soft honey, warm chestnut, or subtle caramel highlights. If ignored, the wrong tone can make you feel like you need more makeup, more coverage, more effort, when really, it's just your hair tone working against you. What to do instead? Ask your stylist to reassess your undertones and explore shades that bring warmth without going brassy. Highlights and lowlights can add dimension without a full commitment to change. And don't underestimate the power of a gloss treatment. It can refresh your current color and add healthy shine, instantly lifting your look. If you're embracing your natural grays, consider adding a toner to counteract dullness or yellowing. A soft silver or pearl tone can enhance your hair's natural beauty and keep it vibrant. The mirror doesn't lie, but sometimes it just needs better lighting, and the right color can do just that. Coming up next, a styling mistake that many of us don't even realize we're making, especially when we're rushing out the door. Mistake number 5, parting your hair the same way for years. You towel dry your hair, reach for the comb, and almost without thinking, draw the same line you followed for decades. Left side, right side, maybe a center part. It's automatic. It's easy. But here's the thing. Your hair remembers, and so does your face. What's the issue? Parting your hair the same way for years can lead to flattening on one side and unwanted volume loss at the roots. Over time, your hair can begin to lie too flat, making thinning areas more noticeable, especially around the crown or temple. And depending on where your part falls, it can unintentionally emphasize asymmetry or pull your features downward, particularly if your face shape has softened with age. Dermatologists have even found that repeating the same parting for years contributes to hairline stress, a subtle cause of breakage or even recession along one side. Why it matters? The direction of your part affects how light hits your face. A deep side part can shadow one eye. A middle part can accentuate facial lines if your features are more angular. In short, the wrong part might be making your face look more tired, without you even realizing it. If ignored, you may find yourself compensating with more volume products or teasing, all while the root of the issue literally goes untouched. What to do instead? Try changing your part by just half an inch. Flip it to the opposite side or go slightly off-center. You'll instantly notice more volume, a lift at the root, and a fresher frame for your face. For those with thinning hair, consider a zigzag part or a softly messy side part. These not only disguise sparse areas, but also give a more youthful, effortless look. It may feel strange the first day or two, But trust the process. Your hair will adjust, and so will you. Here's a simple test. Next time you're in front of the mirror, try flipping your part to the other side and take a selfie. Look at both images side by side. One might surprise you. Up next, let's look at one of the most surprisingly common mistakes, especially among women trying to save time in their morning routine. Mistake number 6, skipping regular trims. You might think, I'm just growing it out a little. No need for a trim yet. And then, weeks pass, maybe months. Suddenly, your ends feel dry, the shape is off, and your hair isn't doing what you want anymore. Here's what's happening. As we age, hair becomes more fragile. The natural oils our scalp produces decrease, especially after menopause, leaving hair prone to dryness, breakage, and split ends. When we skip trims, especially in an effort to grow our hair longer, we often end up with the opposite result: thinner looking, less manageable hair. It's a common misconception that trimming slows down hair growth. In truth, regular trims protect the hair you have, allowing it to stay healthy enough to grow longer and look better while doing it. Why it matters for women over 60. Even if you've embraced your natural color or simplified your routine, neglecting a proper shape can quickly make your whole look feel unkempt. Dry, uneven ends can age a hairstyle, making it appear less intentional and more like something you're just putting up with. And it's not just about appearance. Split ends can travel up the shaft of the hair if left alone, leading to breakage that's much harder to fix later. What to do instead? Commit to a light trim every 6 to 8 weeks. Just a dusting, even a 1/4 inch. Think of it as maintenance, not change. A good stylist will protect the shape of your cut while preserving your length, and they'll spot trouble areas before they become bigger issues. Even if you're growing your hair out, keeping the ends clean and healthy gives the illusion of fuller, more voluminous hair. And who doesn't want that? Try this. Run your fingers through your ends. If they feel rough, tangle easily, or lack bounce, it's probably time for a quick shape-up. Now that we've explored the key mistakes, it's time to wrap up with a few final thoughts and a gentle reminder that your hair doesn't have to be perfect, just personal. So let's recap. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what works better for you right now. Whether it's letting go of outdated cuts, rethinking that hairspray, or simply changing where you part your hair, each small shift adds up. And the best part? These changes don't require reinvention, just a little intention. You deserve a look that moves with you, one that softens where you want softness, adds lift where you need it, and reminds you every time you pass a mirror that you're still very much in the game. Which of these surprised you most? Leave a comment below. We'd love to hear. And remember, you don't need the perfect haircut, just the one that makes you feel like yourself. If this video helped you see your style a little differently, go ahead and like it, share it with a friend, and subscribe to Elder Insights for more grounded, practical advice made just for women like you. See you next time, and until then, take good care.